Hey guys, it is John here, back on Checkmate Fusion, doing a deck profile finally on my Tien deck that I ended up winning the most recent regional with. Now, real quick before I get into the profile, I just want to say sorry that it took me so long to actually get to this deck profile to you guys, because I know there's been a lot of events around the world that have happened, and I know a lot of people. This is oddly enough probably my most requested deck profile, because I've had a lot of people actually messaging and asking for it. And I said, yeah, I'll get around to it. But I've a few people know I'm been in the middle of moving, so I've just been very busy. Me and my partner Jess, we've bought a house, so we've been pretty busy with that, and we're excited for that, you know. So I haven't had time to talk about cards, but finally we're talking about cards today, and I'm keen to give you guys this Tien deck profile. Extra shout out to Simone, the European player who put Tien on the map. I'm essentially playing his list, but I literally am playing his list, but I trimmed it down to 50 cards. But I'll be able to still break down the deck for you guys, because I personally think it's always weird to talk about the meta in Masters, because the thing with Masters meta, right? People play what they want to play in Masters. People don't usually play the best deck in the format, and it shows especially in like smaller regions like OC, where you look at the top 8 or top 16 decks of OC, and you like look at some decks and you're like, why is that deck there? So it's a bit awkward to gauge certain things for the meta, right? But I think a lot of people know that I tend to play the strongest decks, or try to play the strongest decks. Except for Namek-ku, I went 1-4 in with that deck. That was pretty depressing. I thought that deck was good. I was wrong. But yeah, but Tien though, I think Tien is probably right now, in my opinion, it is the best green deck. The only green deck you can maybe argue that is better than Tien is specifically Zamasu, but that does different things as Tien. But I think objectively Tien is the best green deck. Is it the best deck in the format? It's hard to say, because again, like I was kind of going on before, people usually just play what they feel like playing in Masters, right? So you're never gonna have a purely meta where it's the sweatiest decks, like the tier 1 deck. So it's hard to say, but I think Tien is a deck that I personally, for me, it is the most fun I've had playing this game in a long time. Tien is such a fun deck, but I also don't think it's a deck for everyone, because it's a bit tricky to play optimally and stuff, and as well as some of the weaknesses, which we'll talk about as we talk about the deck profile, right? But yeah, I think Tien is a really good deck, and I think that it will probably win more events in the future, and I firmly believe it is 1,000,000,000% the best green deck. I won't say it's the best deck in the format, because I don't think that's true, because the deck does have weaknesses that you can't exploit, but I also don't really know what the best deck in the format is either, because I think we are in a pretty open format. So yeah, let's talk about Tien. So Tien, when this card attacks, draw a card, pretty standard stuff. Activate main, like, oh man. Alright. I'll also say, before we go in the deck, I do not think that, now a lot of decks that you build, you will usually have some fluff cards, right? For the first time in a long time, I will say, I do not think there is a single bad card in this deck. And that's for me to say that about a deck, because sometimes you play cards like you have to play it, right? I don't think there is a card in this deck that is bad, which is crazy to say. But yeah, alright. That's just yeah. We'll go over it, but I think every card in the deck is actually so good. And it's insane. It's the deck, to summarize, is more than the sum of its parts. So the first thing about Tien that is broken, because everything is just so value, right? Everything in this deck is giga value based. So the first thing, we're gonna attack. So the first value thing about Tien is that you just, for free, you get to add this Chaozu to your hand. I get my flipping around, yeah. So your leader, just at the activate main, you just search your deck for Chaozu, add it to your hand. So the leader, by default, starts with one extra card in hand than every other deck in the game for no reason, and it just so happens the card you always start with extra is a cantrip. So you, in this deck, unless you're, I'm being greedy and running 2, unless you are unlucky and they both end up being in your life, or you open them both in your opening hand, you always start with 7 cards in your hand, guaranteeing cantrip. That is awesome. The next value bit about Tien is that when you have the Z extra and 2 energy out, you awaken and spawn in 3 multi-form tokens. So that's what the deck's main gimmick is, these multi-form tokens, right? The whole premise of Tien is to play 3 multi-form tokens and get as much value out of them as possible. And then you also untap on energy. So a lot of people, myself included, when they first read this leader, they're like, oh, your leader doesn't draw an awaken. But the fact that your leader inherently just gets you this Chaozu, which is the thing, your leader, the value already offsets. So yeah, now we'll go on the Awakened side. So before we talk about the actual leader, we'll talk about the multi-form card because I feel like you kind of have to. If your leader is a Green Tien card, you discard a card from your hand, and then during your the start of your turn, you discard a card from your hand, and you summon up to 3 multi-form tokens, which is actually it's actually insane how good this card is. Also, if you have 4 more energy, you get the restand a Tien card by removing this from the game. This card is actually absurd for 2 energy, right? This is yeah, this card enables you to make your leader a multi-attacker. This card enables you to get without doing anything, your leader generates 1 attack on its own, plus the field generates 3 more attacks. So, you get 4 free attacks every single turn from Tien. Oh, sorry. The cost is discarding 1 card from hand. So that's giga value, right? The Tien's a value deck. And we're going to talk about more value. Tien, when he attacks, he draws a card and gains 5k, so he swings for 25k base. One of these 3 multi-form tokens that you have guaranteed every turn, you can choose one to make it a 20k attacker, because normally the multi-form tokens are 10k attackers, 5k combo power. But for your leader, just makes one a 20k as well, so that's 2 20k swings. And then the most busted part about this leader, by far, is his activate battle ability. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, the next time you would activate an activate battle skill on a Tien card from your hand, reduce it by 1 green energy. Once per turn. Once per turn, your leader says any of these 4 Tien cards are free on both players' turns, and all these Tiens can be played on both players' turns. That is insane. Your leader literally says for free you get a free energy every turn. Huh? Bandai, hello? How is that balanced? It's actually crazy. So one really cool line you can do with the deck going second, which Simone showed on stream. If you go second, you attack with your leader and you just combo a card. You can play your Z extra on your turn 1. So then you go into your turn 2, you discard the card for your Z extra, making 3 tokens. Because the token, how this works, it doesn't create 3 tokens. The field makes up to 3 tokens. You play tokens until you have 3, so you always go back to 3. But when you awaken, the leader just says you play 3 tokens. So on your turn 2, going second, if you do this specific line, you can use your multi-form plus the leader and have 6 tokens and attack your opponent. Just so much pressure, right? It's actually just absurd. Yeah, it's just crazy the amount of value this leader provides. Yeah, I guess the big thing we'll talk about, are the Tiens, right? Well, we'll talk about Chaozu. Chaozu, the bottom effect doesn't matter, but it's a top 5 cantrip for a World Martial Arts card, and that includes your extras because they have World Martial Arts in the tags. But you can pretty much add majority of your deck, including super combos, right? But yeah, now we'll go over to the Tiens, right? So these 3 Tiens specifically have the same activate battle ability where you combo with a multi-form token, and then you draw a card and play the card. What? Every single one of these Tiens has this ability. It's actually just crazy. So for free with our leader, we're forcing one of the multi-form tokens into a combo. So the line you'll usually go for with your leader, you'll use your leader to buff a multi-form token, swing 20k. Then you'll attack with a second multi-form token. Then use your leader skill to combo the one that's in rest mode to make that token 15k. Plus play a Tien, right? That's just your general line for free that you do every turn, because it's 2 swings that you get for free, which is nice. But we'll talk about the 3 Tiens now. All the Tiens honestly have really, really solid effects. We'll go over probably. Man, they were really good, but this one this is the most situational technically. When your multi-form, so this one has auto limit 1. When your multi-form token is removed from the battle area, play 1 multi-form token. So when we're force comboing the token, that is removing it from the battle area, so that will spawn another token in. That is really good. That's also if your opponent goes for a board wipe, Secret ID is pretty popular into this deck. If you have this on board and they Secret ID you to clear all your tokens, this just remakes a token. When you combo with a token, for the sake of comboing with a token, or make another token, right? This card's super good. The only downside about this card, it's limit 1, so if you have multiple of these out, you don't really get as much value, but yeah. Next one is this Tien. He gives one of your tokens barrier blocker, and yeah, this one's good. It's the on-play one. Yeah, this one's the only Tien that like is an on play to do something. The rest are like generating infinite value more or less. But this is really good on defense. Like one thing I like to do, because you can still pay one to do this. So on defense, right, on my opponent's turn, I'll free play this Tien, right, to get the 5k combo, and then I'll pay. But because this one doesn't see itself comboing itself off, so this auto doesn't proc. So then I'll go into this Tien as well in the same turn. Um, Paying the 1 energy for it, right? I'll combo off the token, and then because the token got removed, this one will spawn a new token in, and then this one will give it barrier blocker, right? So that's just high value. That's just the value play. Normally this is like the 10 you kind of want to get out first, so like it generates you that extra token on value, and then you want to give this one the barrier blocker, right? That's good. This last tier enables you to activate your World Martial Arts Tournament extra cards for free, which is the Mystery Ray and the Kai Cancel. So yeah, all the 3 TNs do a lot. Probably you want to get this one, the token generator, out first normally, because just the fact that you get a free token every time one's removed between both players' turns, just extra value. And then the other two are like, obviously this is the best defensive one, and this is probably the best offensive one, I guess. Like for out of these 3, out of the ones that specifically come with a multi-form. So yeah, these 3 are really good. The next and final Tien is Tien fighting against Fate. It's not actually Tien fighting against Fate, but it might as well be. So this Tien, it draws you a card, right, as well. Like, all 3 TNs draw cards when you play them, which is insane. It's free as well for the leader. It's a dual attack blocker, but the cool thing about this TN, right, is that you're not restricted to multi-form tokens. You can use any of your cards. So let's just say now you want to generate Z energy, right? You can combo with one of your TNs or one of the other battle cards you have in play for this ability, which I find myself to do a lot, because most likely your battle card will get removed regardless. Like, yeah, it's really solid that you can use that to get an extra bit of value, because you combo. The thing is that you can use this card to combo, like, all the TNs can combo rest mode cards, but yeah, this one's objectively the best TN because it is unironically in this deck fighting against Fate, and that card got banned. And it's fighting against Fate that's also a blocker that you can play on your opponent's turn that plays around Koitsukai because it's 25k. Need I say less? Like, this card is actually, like, absurd. This is my goat TN, dude. No, this card's actually absurd. Like, it doesn't, like, all it is a 25k dual attacker, but the primary bit that it is for free is, in this deck specifically, is crazy. This TN's, like, insane. But yeah, those are the 4 TNs. I guess, next thing we'll jump over to the extra cards. We've got Kai Cancel. This card's insane. It's a negate that draws a card, limit 1. That's really good. And it's also Activate Battle. You get to give one of your TNs 15k and critical and draw a card as well for whatever reason, right? Like, I don't get why this card draws a card on both. Actually, no, I do get why. Because this deck's weakness is that its hand size is usually around, like, isn't the biggest. It's hard to balloon this deck's hand size, so it's relatively... Even though everything's replacing itself, you don't really have anything that's hard plussing, so I understand why everything does replace itself. But this card's crazy. Like, on the other TN, it's free. You can swing with your leader. There's a card that gives your leader... The next card gives your leader double strike as well, so you can easily swing, like, 25k crit. And the really cute thing I like about this card, right, is because the Activate Battle is not limited to both players' turns. On defense, right, let's just say now your opponent swings at you 30k, just an example, right? You can free play this TN to combo the token and draw a card, and then you can activate Maiden Battle for your next extra to be free. Then you do this, you give your leader 15k and draw an additional card. It's just cute. It's like you actually just got free 35k defense and draw a card. Like, the leader is deceptively tanky because you just get you all your things just replace themselves and give you 5k combo power. So it's you actually quite easily get out of a lot of attacks. Plus, a lot of the cards in the deck is blocker, which is quite nice as well. Next is Mystery Ray. This card is another crazy card. So for 1 energy, right, you KO something and draw a card, of course, because, like, you know, why not? We have to draw cards, right? We KO anything. It's kind of nasty. And both the effects are also really nasty. So the first one is that you give all your multi-form tokens 5k buff. So if we're doing that line I was saying before about the 6 tokens on turn 2, we can do this and they're all 15k beaters. That is, like, pretty cool. That's a lot of damage. And the other one is that you give one of your TN cards double strike, and that includes your leader. So our leader can, like, giving any of the TNs double strike is huge, but normally you do it on your leader because you can keep on restanding it with the Z extra, and you can, like, push through things like Dance and Nimbus quite easily. But yeah, this is like another absurd card. Like, yeah, like I was saying, everything is like more of the sum of its parts in this deck, and, like, everything is just high value. Everything's super nice. But yeah. But your turn 4 is usually you want to give your leader double strike and just swing multiple times with your leader to try and close out the game. Yeah, next is Dormant Potential Unleashed. Like, I mean, this card should be banned, in my opinion. I think this card is so good. Like, right now, for the longest time, green deck. Oh no, even to this day, like since this card came out, there's been so many dormant green decks where the green decks just do their right and whatever they want to do, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you're not killing me because I have dormant potential unleashed, right? You are not killing me if through dormant potential unleashed because the turn's just over." And the decks that abuse dormant the most are decks that inherently have a lot of blockers. So like we have a way to get a barrier blocker, right? And like if you're looking at some of the cards here, we got just natural blockers anyway. So yeah, Dormant is a broken card, and it is even more broken if your deck also has blockers. And on top of that as well, because not only does this deck have a lot of blockers, this deck also has a lot of free defense. So it's actually so like we're going giga aggro, and it's so hard to clap back against us because we just have Dormant, right? So it's good. Next card we'll talk about in the top row is Mercenary Tower. So now we're out of kind of done with the Tien package now, right? And our extras and stuff. But we've got Tao. So Tao, he's a counterplay who's a 1 energy blocker counterplay, and he becomes a 1 cost for his cost gets reduced for every Tien and multi-form you have in play. So he should always be a 1. Your leader literally plays 3 multi-forms, right? And you will naturally build up a wide board from how you play the deck. Yeah, so this should be 1 energy counterplay where when this card is played, you just KO one of your opponent's cards 4 or less. It's just a super solid counterplay. Now, I know before I said that all the cards are good. This card's good, but it's probably one of the weaker cards in the deck. But even still, like, counterplaying a 4 cost is good. Like, in the mirror, they play a Tien, you just kill it with Tower, right? It's good. Now, the card that people have seen the brokenness in this deck is this Trunks, right? SS2 Trunks. If you have a token in play, your leader this card gets double strike, 10k and barrier. When you play this card, you make an Earthling token. When you play this card, you switch one of your tokens, one card in your battle area to rest mode, including your tokens. When this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's markers and remove 1 marker for each of your tokens. When you play this card, you will be removing 4 markers from your opponent's unisons, and there is no counterplay to this card. The only counterplay to this card is that it does not have deflect, but majority of the time, there is no good counterplay to hit this card in the current format. This card, in this deck, is so broken. Like, there is no unison that is safe from Trunks in this deck. You literally just alt F4 unisons. It's insane. Like, this card alone just invalidates so many matchups. Like, I'll be honest with you. I had a really lucky run for when I won this event. I versed 3 Dharma Goku in a row. I had a field day. I played this card. I deleted the unisons. I smacked face. And they play Pansy? Alright, damn. Let me just kill Pansy, right? I give all my leader double strike. Damn. And then you'll use the barrier dead. Just dead. Bring Innocent dead. Deburi's dead. Android 18, you're dead. It's like any Innocent full mark is dead. It's like this interaction in this deck is so broken. It's actually crazy how broken it is. Yeah, this guy on top of that as well, it's a 1 NG 25k double striker that you can combo to make it bigger. Like this card in this deck specifically is so good. Next we have Solidarity. Now I think Solidarity is just the best 2 card, like because Green has a few 2-cost barrier removal cards. Solidarity, in my opinion, is just the best because 1, it's the biggest and it does the most damage. Like it swings 35k double strike, KO something, ignoring barrier, and they discard a card. It's just like Solidarity. It's a good card. It's not as good as it was back in its prime in Green Gohan, where you were actually getting the burn effect. But like the card's still super solid. You can try Fated Rivals Goku if you want, but I think, and same with the Trunks, but I think like the Solidarity is just better. I think like the fact that it comes out with barrier as well. This card's still just really good for 2 energy barrier removal. Next we have this Chi-Chi. When you play it, you draw a card and it gains blocker for the turn, and it's a barrier blocker, a dual blocker, because when you tap it to block, right, you just switch it back to active mode because it got switched to the rest mode by a skill. Super good. Only play 2 of it. The next few tech cards are just 2 ofs because they're kind of like your flex spots, but they're all like super good flex spots. Like these cards are essentially like these 2 cards are just better cantrips, right? Like what? 1 energy, tap itself, draw a card. 1 energy, draw a card, double blocker. Hell yeah, I'm down. Son Goku faced with the Emperor, the cool artwork, of course. Draws a card as well. If we've got a blocker in play, it's a 24k dual attacker. And this skill, when this card is removed by an opponent's skill, you get to KO one of your opponent's cards. So I had a few people asked me why I was not running the 6-cost Goku, the new promo. The one that's like 1 energy, you play it, you kill Z energy, it's a blocker, and when you combo something, it combos itself and replays itself once per turn. I think that card is super good, for sure, but I don't think it makes sense in this deck specifically. And the reason why I don't think it makes sense in this deck specifically is because we already have a lot of really good plays that we can do on our opponent's turn, like between the Tiens, alright? That we don't really need the float the one energy. Like most of the time, if I'm floating one energy in this deck, it's most likely for a dormant or a hard negate, right? So that's thing number one. Thing number two, you don't really care about your opponent's Z energy count because you're just able to like it doesn't really it's not really relevant for anything besides like you can deny your opponent some Z cards, right? But it's like you're just an aggro deck. I don't think you're trying to cheese the Z energy. You're just trying to kill them outright. But then there's the next argument where it's like, well, you have this card essentially gets you an extra free 5k combo every turn, an extra attack, but it's like dual attacker, that draws a card. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I like the Goku in theory is super busted, and no, the Goku is very good, but I don't think I can justify it in this deck. Like, if it drew a card, I'd actually like it more, because again, one of the weaknesses I was saying about Tien is that your hand size is relatively small. But with this Goku, it draws a card, and it's like, the thing that also is really nice about this card that's kind of cheeky value, because a lot of the time your opponent is encouraged to do a board wipe into this deck, because you go really wide really quickly, right? Especially with your tokens and that. And so if they're going for a mass board wipe, this Goku just kind of checks them automatically for one. Like a good example is against Blue is kind of forced when they verse this deck to play the sell 5 cost, right, to clear your board. And if they're forced to do that, and you have this in play, the cell just nukes itself. Like, you lose your board, sure, but you kind of also end your opponent's turn on its own with this card. So I think this card is just like, yeah. That's just one example I can think of off the top of my head. But I think the fact that this card protects you from a board wipe in a deck that goes really wide is quite nice. It doesn't protect you from the board wipe, right? But it kind of like, if your opponent does go for the board wipe, you already have the response to it. So yeah, I think this card is good for that reason specifically. It's just like it punishes your opponent for doing the best play they have to do against this deck, which is quite nice. Like, there is ways they can sequence around it. Like, they could remove this card first, then go for the board wipe, but then that just forces your opponent to sequence awkwardly, which you can probably punish already. Next is this Gohan. This Gohan's super good in this deck. This card, low key, I remember when this card first got revealed, and I was salty because it's like, why does this card play in rest mode, right? But then, like, after seeing the card, it's actually so good. Like, one energy kill is 7 or less, and then when a battle card leaves, it restands. And the fact that it's like, this deck, we're comboing our cards and remove them anyway, so it will restand anyway. It can come out, you can play it on your turn 2 going second. Like, yeah, the card's phenomenal. It's super high synergy in the deck. I would probably run more of the card, but the thing is that for 1 energy, just kill anything. We have Mystery or anyway, so they're kind of competing for a similar slot, but both the cards are really good regardless. Next we have King Piccolo and Vegeta. These are effectively our overarms for the deck. You can say you can change it to Secret A if you want. I just prefer the fact it was a 30k beater. Like, overall warp anything 30k beater is good. And then also King Piccolo, you KO 2 of your World Martial Arts cards if you have 4 more energy. You just gonna play him for free, just a free finisher, right? I will be honest with you. This is the card I do side the most, and I don't genuinely play this card. I don't think this card is bad, but I feel like a lot of the times you can win without it. But I know for a fact I'll play this deck, and the fact that I can play a free 20k double striker will win me a game 1 billion%. So yeah, this card's super good. Last but not least, Purunga. Purunga is the best secret rare for this deck, 100%. It's probably one of the best secret rares for green, because green's kind of awkward where it doesn't actually have... All of green's secret rares for the most part are just like generically good, right? There's no standout secret rare. Like, let's compare it to black, for example, right? Black, the secret rare you play for black is always Evil Saiyan combo. Like, Evil Saiyan, right? Because that card is absurd for every black deck. It's super broken, right? Blue, you have the option between Beast, Han, or Hatch. Those are both, like, depending on your personal preference, those are both really broken secret rares. Yellow, you have Gogeta. That's crazy. Infinite Markers or Piccolo Gohan, another really crazy card. Red, if you're a Red Saiyan leader, you play SS4 Vegeta, unless you're the self Vegeta mill deck, right? And then if you're not, you play the SSB Vegeta. You know, the one that just like makes something 35k, whatever, right? So green doesn't really have that standout secret rare, but then you have Purunga, right? Where Purunga is kind of like, it does a lot for 2 energy. Like, the amount of versatility of this card, if you need a board wipe, it's Purunga. If you need to tap your opponent out to go for game, Purunga. If your opponent's got a low hand count and you need a refill, you play Purunga, right? I think Purunga is the jack of all trades, and it kind of like, I feel like the identity of this card of being like the versatility card really shows with this deck as well, because Tien's very versatile in what it can, like in the options it can do. Like, yeah, a lot of the time you're pressuring your opponent, but you can also do other things as well, and I think Purunga really fits that as well. And I think the other thing with Purunga too, with it, because a lot of the times with Purunga, the fact that it is your big secret rare play, you need something else to back it up, and a lot of the decks, energy-wise, can't afford to tap 2 energy, then also multiple energy for other things, where Tien shines a lot with this, because the Tien's main pressure play, like with the leader and the 3 tokens, plus the one you're thinking, without any further energy investment, you already have 5 more attacks lined up for your turn, which is like really nice, because you have your 1 leader swing, you have your 3 token swings, and then you have whatever Tien you decide to play. And most of the time, it's maybe an additional leader swing, because you're most likely going to use your Z extra to restand your leader anyway. It's phenomenal against green dormant decks. Like, you know, you will literally you will just kill them the turn with Purunga, because you tap them out and then you kill their unison with Trunks and they can't dormant you, and you can just go for game that way. So yeah, I think Purunga is the correct secret of the deck. It's super solid. Yeah, we'll quickly speed run through the rest. We've got 2 multi-form, we talked about it briefly before. You can make the argument for 3, because sometimes you want to attack 3 times with your leader, but that's fine. I do have the 1 limit break Z extra as well, just because I personally haven't played this card in this deck, but the idea behind it was like, if I need that extra combo power, it's there. But this deck doesn't build Z energy that effectively, so this will most likely get changed to something else, I guess. Or I might just leave it in, it's fine. 2 Broly Tyrant, like 1 energy 25k double striker. You can sack the fact that I'm pretty sure you can sack your tokens off for this. Oh no, okay, you need to sack an actual Tien. But you can then for this bit you can sack a token, right? Yeah, cool. Alright. Yeah, the fact that you sack like 1. This is a 1 energy 25k double striker. This is good in this deck. Like, it's a good finisher for 1. Piccolo as well. Again, we go so wide with our Tiens, we should be able to easily quickly get to this Bond 5 condition. Yeah, just bottom 5 barrier removal, super solid. I quite like this card. There's an argument for only running 1, because sometimes the Bond 2... Oops, I don't know what I've clicked. The Bond 2 is... The Bond 5 is sometimes hard to get to, but like, this deck goes so wide so quickly, I think it's fine. Bardock Z Unison, this card is super good in this deck, because he plays so many Tiens and like so many... Yeah, this is... I'll bump this up to 2. I think this card I need to have 2 of, because it actually... Shout out to Alan, this is the only reason I beat him in the final. This card, Alan wasn't able to clear this card, and I was just drawing me cards on me dormant for free every turn. And then with all my Tiens, and I was able to block pretty much all his hits, and yeah, he couldn't push through for game. So this should be... I'll most likely cut the Z Extra or Piccolo for a second copy of this Bardock. Oolong I really like. I like the ability to just make my opponent... Like, Oolong is a very polarizing card, because sometimes it will just win you the game for free, where some decks that can't efficiently clear this just auto-lose, so I like the 1 Oolong as well. And then we have Dr. Gero, because we go to 6 life in this deck, and then this lets us go from 6 to 5 to use our super combos, which I didn't talk about, actually. It's just a World Martial Arts super combo. You should play this card. It's searchable of Chaozu, and it works when we're at 5 life. Yeah. But yeah, that's the main deck and the Z deck, right? So the rest of the cards, I'll be completely honest with you. The only cards I've really sided... I need to revisit this, because I think that with how the deck I've got built in the main and deck of the side, I need to revisit my ratios. I think it should be a bunch of 2-ofs and then 3 1-ofs. Like, these probably 1-ofs are extra fine, and then these probably all have to be just 2-ofs or something else, but they were really good. The card I sided in... Alright, I'll quickly go over it. 4th Trunks for matchups it's relevant for. 2 Koitsukai, because it's Koitsukai. 1 Hunter the Demon God, because like some decks like Dormant, like good for the mirror. Boo is very funny versus Zamasu, because you can nuke their board and then keep all your tokens. It's a cute tech. I think you can argue for the Goku Triple Striker over this card, but this is funny. I played it against... It's really good for Zamasu Mill, is specifically what this card's for. But yeah, I think it's funny. I'd probably keep playing this card, because it's just a fun card. This card's fun. But I think I would probably add a Goku Triple Striker to the side as well, unless you're really worried about Zamasu, then you can bump this up to 2, because it just deletes the whole board. It's great. This Goku just as I was saying before, you go so wide in this deck, and this just this just deletes blue. Like, blue's only optimal out for this really is like, okay, they can beast unbounce everything back to hand, right? But like, the fact that this hurts blue so hard is huge. It's great. Yeah, most of the time blue's response to this card is sell, and that's just like not great for them. So yeah, it's a good card. 2 Bujin for counterplays, 3 Vegeta for hand destruction stuff. I don't think I didn't verse this at all. Verse green mirrors at all. And like, again, if you look at my deck space is tight. I'll probably change this down to 2. 2 Trunks Path to the Future. Like, I mean, this again is just for Zamasu. A really cool thing you can do with this Trunks is that you can makes your multi-form Tien free. So there was a world I was considering Trunks over Solidarity, but I think Solidarity is still just better because you don't really spam out multi-forms like that much anyway. And you have other things you'd rather do for 1 energy. Like, instead of playing Trunks for 2, you can go like 1 energy this Goku, 1 energy this Chi-Chi, or 1 energy like Hardcaster Tien or whatever. So yeah, there's that. And then this Zamasu, I was going through my stuff as like, damn, what card do I want to play? And the whole idea for this Zamasu was to kill the 5-drop SS3 into the Diamond deck, but I mean that deck isn't very good, unfortunately. So like I didn't decide this at all. This card, it's a cute card. Like having Battle Tricks is always nice, but it's just okay. But yeah, that's that, guys. This is probably, this is my cute tech that I wanted to run, and it's probably the worst card in the deck. I mean, I guess in the mirror, like, there's some matchups that will be so huge in because there is no out to this card. If you don't know your opponent is going to play this card, there is no out to this card. It's indestructible, and it will tap something and draw something every turn. So I don't know. It's a cute card. I don't know what. I'll probably keep on citing the one of, and one day I'll bust it out and cheese someone with it. But in theory, it's really good into green if they're not main board in Trunks, right? But yeah. That's the deck profile, guys. Again, sorry it took me so long to make this deck profile, but I've been in the middle of moving, so I've just genuinely been busy. But I really hope that this gave you some insight. Again, shout out to Simone for pretty much crafting this deck and putting it on the map. I'm happy I was able to take it for a first place finish at the regional. It's been a while since I've won. Last time I won a regional was at the start of the year, so it's pretty cool for me, Got the new playmat, which is nice, and the gold Zamasu card, which, the gold Zamasu is funny. But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, this is John, signing out. Peace.